Stephen and Matt from the Academic, welcome back to the Gleneagle INEC Arena.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
When was the last? Do you remember the last time you were here? No.
We filmed our Songs from an Empty Room performance from here, which was during the summer.
Yeah.
But before that, for an actual gig, I can't even remember.
We did the acoustic room.
Yeah.
Sold it out about, I want to say 2 or maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Ourselves and Inhaler.
Inhaler, another fantastic Irish band. Bono's son is in that band.
Yeah.
How has life been? I know it's a weird question to ask at the moment, but I was reading like May this year you got signed to Capitol Records, so I mean it wasn't the bad year for you at all, was it?
No, it was interesting because we just signed a deal, and then obviously all COVID hit and stuff. So we spent the early part of the year in the studio. We recorded and wrote and released an EP called Act My Age. And since then, it's been an awful lot of nothing, you know?
Well, productive nothing, I'd say. We're in doing a lot of writing at the moment. Like even last week, we have our own sort of little studio hidey hole up in Dublin that we kind of disappear into.
Have you found it a bit strange, like, because a lot of people I've been chatting to have been saying like they've been trying to write over the last few months, but there's nothing really to inspire them in terms of like anything going on. Like, so what has it been like for you?
Yeah, it's just been like a drastic change in lifestyle when we're so used to like releasing stuff, going on tour, promoting it, and then sometimes writing on tour and stuff like that. And it's just our entire like routine of what we're used to, what we understand about being musicians has been, the whole idea of it has just been thrown up in the air. Yeah. So we're being very productive, but just in a different way. And especially during the lockdowns, we had to get savvy with the technology and record our own parts in different houses and send them over to each other. So it's definitely been challenging, but kind of rewarding as well.
Yeah. What's it been like? I mean, because you released about 4 or 5 singles now. They're all from an upcoming album, I presume. But has that been kind of pushed back a bit? Yeah,
the idea of the album is starting to form. But everything we have out at the moment is from the last EP. Yeah. So we're going to be looking to get back in the studio, and the plan for 2021 is officially an album.
Album number 2.
Album number 2. It was. It's about 2 years since you released your debut.
That's right. Yeah.
January 2018, wasn't it?
We're definitely due a second record.
Yeah. Should probably get on that.
Did you feel a bit of kind of pressure, I suppose, because a lot of bands would feel it having bringing out the second album, you know, because I suppose if it isn't as good as the first, sometimes it mightn't go too well. But I mean, what I've heard so far, single wise, as in from anything from your last EP or they'll be part of the album, it's better.
I think so.
And I think that it kind of takes the pressure off the second album a little bit when you release an EP in the middle to bridge them, because people can kind of see the progression of whatever, the production, the songwriting. So it gives us a little halfway step up to the second record.
Yeah, no, it sounds incredible. So best of luck with that. I was watching your clips of a live stream you did a couple of weeks ago. Was it like outside a castle or some sort of a wall?
That's the Jealous Wall.
Jealous Wall in Mullingar, yeah. It's a folly, so it's a purpose-built ruin on the grounds of Belvedere House in Mullingar, and it's just this massive, creepy-looking Gothic wall, and we just thought it would be a great setting for a show.
It looked class. Like.
It's very local to us. We all live like roughly a 15-minute drive away, so it was kind of a nice way to...
Was it somewhere you used to go like when you were younger? Or just
one of the first band photo shoots we did was on Belvedere. It's just it was a nice way to like represent Westmeath, you know.
Yeah, and the story of the Jealous Wall is pretty cool as well. It was built by was it Robert
Rochford?
Yeah,
the Wicked Earl.
He built it because I think his brother ran off with his wife, so he built the Jealous Wall
in between Belvedere House and Chewdenham House, so they wouldn't have to look at each other.
Oh yeah,
yeah, pretty like petty.
That's our version of the history of it. I think we're right.
Yeah, I think that's
check that.
Well, I mean, we're paraphrasing here.
That's the general gist.
Let's hope there's no like relative, you know.
Force.
Are you getting more accustomed to live streams and that kind of style of thing at the moment?
We've had to. We've done so many of them by now. That you just kind of get used to finishing up a song and not hearing the applause. You just hear like nothing, and it's on to the next one. Yeah. But the like live stream gigs are still great. You still do get the jitters and the adrenaline just in a different way, because you know your audience is just watching kind of anywhere because they're like a lot of them stream worldwide. So that's a nice added pressure that people could be watching whatever from Killarney or from Rio de Janeiro or wherever.
Yeah.
We'll still take a regular gig any day, though.
I think everyone's I hopefully, as great as the live streams are, hopefully like it won't be too long before, we're back, playing to audiences and stuff. What's the reaction been like from your fans watching online?
Really good.
Right, especially to the Jealous Wall one, I think, because that was such a unique location. That one really, we got a lot of love for that one. But it's great. And like I was saying, like there's no like location barriers to these streams. You can literally tune in from anywhere, so they're really universal, which is nice.
Yeah, tell me about being signed to Capital, because what did you say that was before the lockdown? So things were.
Yeah, it was just before the first lockdown that we signed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Some incredible acts would be on their roster as well. I mean, Irish White's Niall Horan, who's near where you're from.
Yeah. He's only down the road. It was great. Just happened totally, like our manager, we were playing a headline show in London, and our manager just sent an email to a guy called Nick Raphael, who's one of the co-presidents there, and he on a whim just decided to come down and see the show. And he said that normally he would only stay for one or two songs and then probably leave, and he ended up staying for the whole show. So we obviously did something right that night. Then a few months later we found out that they wanted to sign us, which was, I mean, their history and like you said, their roster as well. It's just incredible. So for us to be even associated with the name Capitol Records is a really big deal for us, And
is that something, I suppose when he started out, is that something he set out? Was it a goal, let's say?
Not particularly. We really enjoyed being an independent band, and it was just, like Matthew said, it was just kind of, we were working really hard as an independent band, selling like big venues in the UK, and we were just lucky that they took notice of that, and then they heard some of like our new music and stuff.
And we still operate much the same as well. It's just like we have more people to help us now. Really,
we still try and bring the independent spirit, or what. That's all we knew for like the guts of 6-7 years. Like all we knew was being an independent band.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you are together since, is it 2013?
Yeah, that's probably the year of our first gig.
Maybe 2014, I would say, maybe.
And do you remember? You obviously remember your first gig pretty well.
Yeah, Battle of the Bands.
Battle of the Bands. Danny Burns, Mullingar.
Yeah. Shout out to Danny Burns.
But we weren't the Academic at the time. We were Maginot.
We were called Maginot.
Same lineup, just different name.
I'm trying to think. I actually don't know what our first gig under the name of the Academic. I think it might have been Danny Burns again.
It probably was. Yeah.
Just like a summer festival in there or something.
And where did the name the Academic come from?
It came from the fact that we were all in school together, and the book The Catcher in the Rye as well. The word is kind of like in the first few pages quite a lot. And we just
jumped off the page. Yeah,
sounded cool. And
were you academic in school, or were you?
Not particularly.
I would say we were like nobody got 600 points or anything like that now, but nobody was. I'd say we were all pretty good. I didn't particularly love school, to be honest.
I was going to say none of us like
enjoyed a lot of school.
Was there a lot of music in your school?
There was,
yeah. Because in my own school there was feck all music, so like only a couple of us kind of play guitar and stuff. So it grew after a couple of years after we left. So I think it's great to come from a school that champions music and especially
and I think people are getting more and more comfortable with the idea of like whatever, singing or playing guitar online, and I think young people now are more like, because when we were in school no one was really like putting themselves out there
like that.
It just wasn't a thing, but now you see like kids on like TikTok and Instagram and everything, they're so much more confident and more open to it,
and it's great. I mean, it's just like when you're growing as a performer, like the most important thing first of all is just to get comfortable in your own skin and playing in front of a crowd. But no, our school was great. I mean, like
we were both in Les Mis.
we did Les Miserables together.
It was like a 2-man show, or
no.
I was Valjean, he was Javert.
There was musicals. I mean, I
didn't even study music at all, and I still got a chance to be in like 2 musicals and playing some like extracurricular stuff. So it was great.
What's the reaction been in your hometown to your music and to your success?
I don't know. That's a tricky question.
That is a tricky question. Yeah,
because obviously as a band we say we're from Mullingar, but
we're not really.
We're from small villages. around the town.
Yeah.
So like it's just easier to say
Collectively
we're from
say Mullingar.
rather than naming our 3 individual villages.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like I mean, I don't even remember the last time we played a show in Mullingar. Like we had a run of years where we did like a gig every Christmas there usually, but that obviously won't be happening this year. But yeah, I would say pretty good. Like I don't think we're like the way like maybe other certain acts would be like super like say Bruce Springsteen, New Jersey. He's all about that. I think we're maybe a bit more loose fitting.
Yeah, because none of us are actually from the town. So.
Exactly.
But like Westmeath, like it must be like there's something in the water.
Oh,
because
Nashville of Ireland.
Yeah, yes. You Joe Dolan,
Foster and Allen are amazing.
Foster and Allen, the Blizzards, Niall Horan.
Niall Horan, Academic.
Tommy Swarbrick in the Eurovision.
Yeah.
Did
he win it?
74.
Did he win?
No, I don't think he
no,
did.
no.
But it's a very musical county.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I lived there till I was 4.
So where'd you live?
So I was at Athlone.
Oh, the other side.
Yeah.
I like Athlone. I had dinner in Athlone last week.
I've been there since I was 4, so I couldn't tell you what it's like.
It's nice to walk around.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's on the shores of the Shannon.
Yes,
the banks, not the shores.
Yeah. What's the plan? I know it's hard to tell at the moment. Going forward, 2021. So you're gonna start working on the new album.
Get an album out there.
I mean, everything touring wise, festival wise, it's also up in the air. I think the only thing we can promise is we're working on an album for 2021.
Yeah.
Everything else, who knows where the world will be this time next year?
Yeah. Well, hopefully, all going well. I've been saying it to all the acts that are coming in. Like, I think it'll be March, to be honest. By the time vaccines and all that kind of stuff is rolled out, so I would be confident that summer 21 you'd be there.
Summer 21,
Yeah,
I think. Like if the festivals go ahead, I think we're looking good.
Yeah,
and then I think every band in the world is going to be on tour in October. It's going to be interesting how people route tours and how venues cope with so many bands on tour. But that's a good thing.
Irish people are amazing for buying tickets as well. There's just going to be gigs on all the time.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't matter who you are. I think people will just want to go and to gigs.
People are missing live music, I think, more than anything else. Well, best of luck for 2021 and going forward.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear the new music as well. So, cheers, guys.
Cheers, man.